Just because you're stuck in a hotel room or trapped somewhere else for this quarantine doesn't mean you can't eat healthy. I'm going to show you a recipe that combines cornflakes with canned chocolate chip cookies and red wine, the triad of healthy foods. A dish that the New York Times called the worst thing ever created, and Martha Stewart recommended trying if you hate your life. Let's get to it, shall we? Okay, our producers just told me that we're not actually allowed to make that because we'll probably get sued. So instead, our episode today is going to be about survival cooking with minimal resources inside a hotel room. I'll be making a special version of a grilled cheese that I call an iron toasted cheese, prosciutto, and pickled sourdough sandwich. I'll say it again. An iron toasted cheese and prosciutto, pickled prosciutto, no, a pickled prosciutto, a prosciutto. Anyway, I'll be making this special type of sandwich, you'll see. To construct our sandwich, I'll be using fresh sourdough bread that I picked up at the bakery just this morning. I have 3 types of cheeses: sharp Vermont cheddar, smoked Gruyere, and imported Swiss cheese. Imported from where, you ask? It doesn't really matter as long as it's imported. And on top of that, I'll be putting prosciutto, and lastly, Wickles Wicked Pickled Chips. I'm going to very carefully layer each of these on this bread. And once it's all packed on there, of course, we'll have the pickles. Okay, I don't know who put this on here, but it is really, really tight. I think now is a good time for a commercial break. Hi, this is kind of an embarrassing question, but would it be possible to have someone come up to help me open a pickle jar? No, really. Yeah, room 213. You might want to tell them to bring a toolbox as well. It's really tight. Thanks. Okay, she actually got the lid off quite easily. I must have loosened it up for her. But now that I have the pickles on top of my sandwich, I'm just going to wrap this up in aluminum foil tightly on all sides. And then I will take the hotel iron, set to its highest setting, probably synthetic, and make sure the steamer is off. And I will just toast both sides for 3 to 5 minutes, pressing lightly until the cheese is nice and melted. You may be wondering, where's the classic American cheese? Well, American cheese isn't actually cheese at all, but it's very American, meaning it's a processed mixture of chemicals, milk fats, solid whey, and yellow food dye sandwiched between 2 sheets of plastic. If you've been eating American cheese your whole life, you've been ingesting essentially polyurethane. Just because I'm living out of a hotel doesn't mean I'm going to eat plastic. I will, however, pay $14 for a small can of all-natural California hand-grown colossal pistachios. Okay, we're finished toasting. Let's check out the finished product. As you can see, I'm not great with aluminum foil. So let's tear this in half to see how that cheese is not really melted, actually. It's still quite coagulated. Anyway, I'll give it a taste. It's really fucking hot. But the sharpness of the cheddar and the smokiness of the Gruyere combined with the importedness of the Swiss make this a really good combo, actually. The pickles acidity, it cuts it quite nicely. Once this cools down, I think I'm actually gonna enjoy this, or I'll just probably throw it in the trash. All in all, I give our iron toasted grilled cheese pickled prosciutto sourdough sandwich a grade of a D-. The only reason this doesn't get an F is because it didn't have American cheese on it. Otherwise, this was a complete and unmitigated disaster. The iron didn't get hot enough to actually melt the cheese, so we're left with this pile of bird food for some very unlucky birds. But the silver lining is, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm staying in a hotel, I can just order room service, which will cost me more than a flight back to New York.